Hello guys, good evening. This is Parag again. This is my second episode and I am going to talk about the skill sets. So today, as mentioned in my previous video, I had mentioned that operations has different skill sets. Operations is distributed into different category of skill sets, I mean to say. So basically when I have to talk about operations, now how operation correlates to the different department of F&B industry. Now, operations is one thing which is directly responsible to report to different departments. Now, if I have to talk about that, let's talk about how operation. So, operation, I mean to say the manager at the store level. If I'm talking about an cafe, or if I'm talking about the restaurant, or I'm talking about a unit which is doing quick, which is serving quick service food products. So that cafe manager is directly related to the different departments. So if I have to explain those departments, so the first and foremost department is the human resource department. The second department where he is directly responsible to report is the administration department. Then the third department is the production department. Now, why do we think that a manager is the person who is responsible to communicate to these departments? I have not spoken about the fourth department. Fourth department is directly correlated to him and his subordinates because that's the service rank. So about that department I'm going to speak a little later. But now these three key departments are the HR, second is the administration, and third is the production. So now you might have a question that how a manager is related to HR. So basically, जब मैंने मेरे कैफ़ेज़ में जिस रेस्टोरेंट पे मैंने काम किए, मैं उन कैफ़ेज़ में या उन रेस्टोरेंट में when I was responsible for taking care of the complete operations of the store, I used to do my own hiring. Basically the junior levels. So the stewards, the captains, the service guys, utilities are like we used to get it from our local vicinity where the finding of staff was very easy for us. So we used to do this we used to call those people in the cafe or in the restaurant or in the store. We used to do our basic screening. So basically whether this particular person is ready for the kind of portfolio we are hiring him. If yes, then what we used to do is we used to send him to the HR for doing the second round of screening. Now what HR, the human resource manager or the human resource person who's sitting at the head office, what he used to do is basically do the second round of screening, wherein the staff was checked for his behavior, whether he has any bad police history, or he not a troublemaker, he should not be a nuisance maker. All those basic screening was done by the HR level, and then he or she used to be sent back to the respective store along with the final screening letter that they have done the screening, and the manager at the store then go ahead with the further formalities. Yes, but before the human resource used to send, basically they जब भी वो लोग भेजते थे कोई भी कैंडिडेट को कैफ़े लेवल पे या स्टोर लेवल पे या रेस्टोरेंट लेवल पे, वो लोग उनका बेसिक इंडक्शंस कंप्लीट करके भेज देते. Now when I have to talk about the basic induction is basically what is the company all about, how long is the company been active in this business, basic informations सारे स्टाफ को HR दे देते थे. उसके बाद जो होता था सेकेंड लेवल का induction, वो होता था at the cafe or the restaurant level. In that induction, the store manager or the restaurant manager was supposed to brief the staff about the roles and responsibility for which he or she is hired. In this basic induction, he or she was also introduced to the front-end team and the back-end team, where he or she used to be made comfortable so that they can start their duties and performing their duties from the next day when they're starting to join in. Further, the next level of formality what a manager has to do, or maybe he was responsible for doing, is getting the medical formalities done for the staff, because medical formality for the staff is very much important, because as per the law of labor, we need to have the shop and establishment license. In shop and establishment license requires the medical fitness certificate of the staff who's working in the cafe or the restaurant. So that is also a responsibility of a store manager, because the medical representative who is supposed to sign the medical certificate of the staff should be from the same vicinity. So even that is also the responsibility of the store manager or the restaurant manager, or maybe the person who is taking care of the operations of the cafe or the restaurant. Now, the next formality is, once the medical certificate is done, the medical certificate is received, this should be communicated to the HR. The HR will then start doing the letter of appointment formality for that particular staff. So from the day the staff or the candidate is joined, from that time onwards till the letter of appointment is done, from the HR, this entire process takes minimum 7 days, or maybe in some cases it would also go beyond 7 days. But it is mandatory that this has to be done within 7 days, because the visits of the shop and establishment or the labor inspectors can happen anytime. And if you do not have the basic formalities of the staff done, you might land up in a trouble. So it is very much necessary that this entire formalities are to be done within the 7 official days. Further, when the letter of appointment is given to the staff needs to be aware that he or she is going to be on the probation of minimum 3 months. Basically, it depends from the company to company, from the restaurant to restaurant, or from the organization to organization. बहुत सारे ऐसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस होते हैं जो क्या करते हैं कि पहले 15 डेज में ही प्रोबेशन पीरियड खत्म कर देते हैं, एंड पोस्ट द 60th डे द लेटर ऑफ अपॉइंटमेंट इज कंफर्म. Also, there are some companies which do 3 months of probation. There are some companies which do 6 months of probation. Basically, minimum 3 months probation is required for the staff, so that because in the time of 7 days span, it is not necessary the staff, he or she will be able to perform his or her duty comfortably, or maybe the manager will try understanding whether the person is fit for doing that job or no. But minimum it takes 15 to 30 days. तुम लगता ही लगता है, but 3 months probation is basically good enough for any person to be identified. Then post the 3 months probation is done, or maybe whatever the guidelines startup is setting up, or maybe you as an entrepreneur who have been in this industry, or maybe planning to start up a restaurant or a cafe, basic things have to be done in a way that so that you don't land up in a problem. Then post the confirmation, the on-job training starts. This is the major task of the manager, which is the major task. Why I am saying major task? Because the person who is hired, he or she, will be able to perform their duties only if they are briefed about their job role, their key result areas, in the time span of their probation period. On-job training is not a which is there for only 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. On-job training will continue from the day 1 of the employee joining to the time when he leaves the organization. On-job training cannot be finished in 10 days, 15 days, 1 month or 2 months. So on-job training is a regular training process which is basically done by the manager time and again wherever he feels the need be. Now, there are also situations where the manager is, now I am talking only about the manager's roles and responsibility towards the HR. Now, after the on-job training, is done or maybe is scheduled for the staff, the manager is also responsible to do his or her alignment with the complete HR formality. The HR formality, which includes your PF, which includes your ESIC, which includes your leave records. Everything is done by the manager in coordination with the HR. That is the reason why I said operations guy, or maybe the manager, or maybe the cafe in charge, or maybe the restaurant manager is the key person who's a communicator between the staff and the human resource manager, or maybe the executive. Now, next point, after the medical records and everything, the manager is also perform his team's duty rosters. Now, this duty roster can be a weekly roster, it can be a 15 days roster, it can be a monthly roster. It depends from the restaurant to restaurant, depends from a cafe to cafe. Again, I'm trying to tell you, yes, when the front end duty roster is concerned, the manager or the cafe manager, he himself will be making the duty roster on his own. But when it comes to the duty roster for the production area, or maybe for the any other department which is not directly responsible, or maybe not directly a key result area for him, has to be done in coordination with the chef in charge, or maybe the kitchen in charge, or maybe the other department in charge. Now, these other department in charge will again be formulated from company to company. So I am talking about basic restaurant, or a basic cafe, or a basic unit where there are 3 to 4 departments where the person is supposed to be, the manager is supposed to be communicating for. Now, when I'm talking about the duty roster is normally made for a week. It is suggested that we make it for a week. Maybe there are chances where people make duty rosters for 15 days also, but it is normally suggested to make a weekly duty roster, because you will not get the grip of the staff who's reporting. You cannot guess it right now that what will happen after 15 days, or what will happen after 20 days, or what will happen after the 30 days. Next point is the maintenance of your staff's attendance. Now, there are majorly many companies which are doing attendance record on biometrics. There are also many companies which are doing attendance records on facial biometrics. There are geofenced applications which are doing attendance recording for the staff. So the staff is needed to just download the app. The HR creates the employee ID, enters the basic detail of the staff, and the staff gets a notification on their phone where they need to download the app from the Google Play Store, or maybe if anyone has an iPhone, they can download the app, register with their employee ID and the name and the basic details what are required, and they can put in their in time and out time on their phone if the biometrics are not used by the organization. But the entire management of that particular data is to be maintained by the cafe manager or the restaurant manager. This is mandatory. It is recommended that apart from the biometric recording of the attendance, the manager has to have attendance record for the staff manually filled in the registration, because that is the major requirement of the labor inspector. Whenever they visit, they ask for the leave records and the attendance record of the staff. The attendance record of the staff also needs to have the mentioning of the salary structure of that particular person. Now, the next is the major role of the manager, where he is responsible for maintaining the relationship with the staff, so that the staff is retained at the store level. He doesn't leave the organization, maintaining a positive atmosphere for that particular staff. Now, maintaining a positive atmosphere for the staff, it doesn't mean that he or she will keep on putting in demands, and the manager has to keep on accepting the demands, or maybe keep on forwarding the demands to the HR. But yes, all the demands which the manager feels are necessary can be forwarded to the management, basically to the HR. And if the HR says that yes, this can be done or that can be done, it can be communicated to the staff. So the major role of the manager here to be a communicator between the staff and the human resource. Now, even after doing that, the staff retention is difficult, and if the staff needs to leave, the manager's responsibility towards the staff's clearance, the staff's exit formality is the last task which a manager is supposed to complete for a staff with the human resource. Now, this is one skill set which I have explained for a manager, where he is responsible for coordinating with the management for the human resource. Now, in the next episode, I am going to discuss about the manager's responsibility towards the administration. Now, this administration will include the finance, it will include the direct reporting authorities, the area managers, the district managers, the operation managers, and then in the next episode, I will also discuss about the manager's coordination for production. Thank you, guys. See you again. If you have liked the video, please do not forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you. This is my second video. I am again assuring you that the best things are going to be communicated here. Stay tuned, and I would like to get encouragement from you guys in terms of making good videos and putting it forward for you. Thank you once again.